Hello to everyone. Thank you all for joining me at this time. My name is Shavi Zane, and I'm coming on today to do a message. It's kind of unexpected and it's very unfortunate in terms of Traci Braxton, who recently passed away from esophageal cancer, throat cancer. So I'm definitely sending out my condolences in that regard. But um, I was just happening, just looking through my phone, and one of the news breaks, like a news break report, showed up, and it said Traci Braxton has passed away. And I got a knot. I got a real tight knot in my stomach when I saw that. And mind you, I've seen the passing of many celebrities that have taken place, and I can't say that I've felt that type of sensation in a long time. And so, I wanted to know what it meant for me in terms of having such a strong emotion. Obviously, I empathize with the family and for the way that Traci ended up departing, um, her transition. But I feel like there's something deeper here, okay? And you all know, most of you who know me understand that, on my channel, I see past the surface, okay? My gift is, it involves me seeing energetically or in a spiritual realm in terms of what was taking place at that time. And what I've been hearing a lot, because I really debated in my mind, like, should I do this? But I couldn't shake it, okay? And so obviously I said, okay, well, I'm just going to follow suit. This is what I'm being guided to speak on at this time. Y'all know my messages can be very random, but I just follow suit with whatever I'm guided to do, okay? And so I feel that for Traci, because she had throat cancer, I feel that there was some truths that Traci held back that she needed to bring forward to the world. Some things that she might have suppressed for a very long time that ultimately ended up manifesting in a dis-ease disease. But it was a dis-ease that she felt internally on an emotional and mental and spiritual level, is what I feel. And so, what I want to do is I want to pull the cards. I want to see energetically what is it that Traci Braxton could have been withholding, okay, to the degree where she ended up getting throat cancer. Now, many of you might say, well, how does that relate? Well, for me, I'm thinking about the throat chakra. Anytime your chakras are not in alignment, then it ultimately can manifest in physical illness. Okay, that happens much of the time. Your physical body is affected when your chakras are very off balance, especially if they have been that way for an extended period of time. And it really just depends on how deep the wounds are. And so this is what I'm hearing intuitively. So I want to pull the cards to see what is it that Traci really wanted to speak out. What was she holding back? Okay. See, I'm already cutting a deck. Okay, Nine of Swords. So this is what I'm telling you. And the Swords deals with communication. Anyone who's familiar with Tarot, okay? There was something that Traci was really, really holding back. I got the Magician in the reverse. So, you know, I'm going to keep pulling, but the Magician in the reverse can deal with manipulation, okay? Someone could have been manipulating her, or she might have felt that she was being manipulated. But let's just see. What was Traci Braxton withholding that she wanted, that she needed the world to know, or that she desired to bring forth to the world? What was she suppressing? So what I have here is the Empress in the reverse and the Six of Cups in the reverse. I feel like this goes back to Traci's childhood, okay? Traci was having some issues in terms of being able to express the pain that she felt from her childhood, potentially concerning her relationship with her mother, because the Empress is in the reverse. Now I know that Traci was she and her sisters, they was in the show the Braxtons, or I don't know what the name of the show was, but I know that they had a reality show. I used to watch it years ago, but I haven't done TV in a long time, and so reality TV is really not my thing. But I do believe that Traci may have expressed that she felt as if she was always the outcast, or never really um, accepted, okay, or treated differently. And I also understand that Traci was, out of all of the sisters, she was not able to be a part of their group because, or I think it was short lived in terms of her being a part of the group or being signed, because she ended up getting pregnant at that time, and so she was not able to become a part of the the singing group in terms of the Braxtons. But this right here is dealing with mother issues, okay, with the Empress in reverse. Maybe she felt like her mother was not affectionate enough towards her. I know that there were six children, and so being a mother of six myself, I can understand that if you're not in alignment, you will miss. And when I say in alignment, I mean healed. You've done the work to heal, to balance yourself out, and to find that inner peace within. You can miss the emotions that your children may try to convey to you if you're overly focused in on your own pain. And so I feel that with the Six of Cups in the reverse and the Empress in the reverse, one thing that she suppressed a lot was the desire that she had in childhood to actually have more of her mother's attention and affection. Um, Maybe she felt as if out of all of her siblings, she might have been the one that received the least amount of attention. Or it could just be the fact that she felt like she just wasn't receiving attention at all. So let me see what else is coming out here. Yeah, I feel like Traci never felt like she fit in. She fit in with the Three of Cups in the reverse and the Two of Swords. I feel like she was able to see very clearly that. I feel like maybe if it was amongst her sisters, that maybe everyone else they had something in common. They was able to celebrate together, but she felt like she was excluded. And this is something that she was not blinded to, okay, with the Two of Swords in the reverse. I feel like she had come to a conclusion, because maybe at one point she was at a crossroads in terms of how she thought about this, and feeling trying to really figure it out. Or maybe she blinded herself purposely to it so that she wouldn't have to feel that emotion of being excluded. But with the Three of Cups in the reverse, it's showing me that maybe she felt as if she was not a part of the family, okay? In terms of, I feel with the Three of Cups, I feel like this is dealing with her siblings. She felt like she was excluded, okay? I'm going to be clarifying these cards as well. So what else did Traci Braxton suppress? What does she want to say that she held on to? Because this is from childhood. The suppression that I'm picking up here, this is since she was a baby, since she was little. She suppressed these feelings in regards to how she felt about her mother and her siblings. And I feel like this carried out through her adulthood. And many of you, I recall watching the Braxton show and with all of the sisters. And one thing about Traci is that she was the type of person, you might say, well, no, she was very vocal. But it's not that she was vocal. Traci was the type of person, based on what I saw, that would have outbursts, okay? Yeah, the Queen of Swords. She was hurt. Traci would speak her truth, in those moments if she felt as if she was being belittled or disrespected. That suppressed energy would come up, and it would come out in the form of anger. But it would be directed at something that was very surface. It would never actually get to the deeper wounds of what was really being suppressed behind that outburst, concerning that particular situation. And so I feel like, Traci, she felt like, on the surface, she felt like she had to portray herself to be strong. But behind that, she really did not feel very strong. She felt weak, okay, with the Strength in the reverse. She felt weak. And she covered up that insecurity of not feeling empowered with the way that she communicated. It's that energy of, if you have something to say to me, come on and say it, because you already know that I'm the one. I'm here for it. But that was mostly a facade, because behind that was a lot of pain that she was dealing with since childhood, okay? What else was Traci suppressing? And I'm going to pull from a different deck as well. What was Traci suppressing? So, yeah, she was really carrying some burdens. It was heavy for her, okay? Whatever it is that she was holding on to since childhood all the way through to adulthood, it was heavy, it was painful, and it was like she felt like she didn't really have control of her life. She couldn't see, I feel like she couldn't see her way ahead in terms of where her future was taking her. Because anytime you're overly focused in on the burden, this person's view is obstructed, because the only thing that they're focusing in on is getting the job done. And I feel like maybe she felt like she was doing it alone. She felt like she had all of this responsibility, but she didn't really have the support system that she needed to carry this weight. Okay, so this could be the weight of her emotions. This could be the weight of financially securing her, in terms of her stability. This could be the weight of, just having those cohesive relationships where people understood her. I feel like Traci was misunderstood for a large part of her life, all the way from childhood. And so, yeah, there was something imbalanced in terms of the stability of her household as well. So this could indicate, yeah, she wanted to speak her truth. There were certain things that she was starting to see very clearly. And this could definitely indicate some imbalance in terms of her personal life, okay, within her home front. But let me see what else Traci wanted to express. Now, I want to clarify the Empress and the Six of Cups in the reverse, okay? The Empress in the reverse and the Six of Cups in the reverse, which deals with the mother. Potentially that her mother was not there, but what is this? Okay, so the Ace of Swords comes out to indicate that that's the truth, because right behind that is the Five of Cups. She felt like, she grieved a lot when it came to her childhood. I feel like Traci grieved not only feeling like she didn't really have the affection of her mother, but also she grieved not being able to be a part of this celebration that her sisters had as they was able to forge ahead in their a career. I feel like Traci felt like out of all of her siblings that she was the one that was potentially the least accepted and the least successful to a degree. Whether she looked at this in terms of her singing career or just overall in general, whether it's, from her marriage to, her, how she was perceived and accepted and received by the world. Because maybe she felt like she was always in the shadows, because this person is, in this dark cape here. Maybe she felt like the world could not see her for who she was. And so, she might have felt like she was in the shadow of her sisters, specifically maybe even Toni Braxton, because she ended up being the one who was the most famous out of all of them, and the most well known. And ultimately, Traci ended up coming on as being like a background singer at times for them. But I feel like, yeah, she was definitely grieving. She had a lot of pain that she was carrying and dealing with, and a lot of losses that she felt she had taken. And she was putting a lot of her focus, a lot of her thoughts was going towards these things that she had taken a loss in. And so this is that sort of truth. Let me see. So what else was Traci suppressing here? I'm going to clarify the Three of Cups in the reverse. Okay, so the Three of Cups in the reverse is, yeah, she felt like she was blocked. Traci felt like it was like her world came tumbling down, because this is clarifying the Three of Cups in the reverse. And I've already expressed that I sense that this is in regards to her not being able to celebrate, or feeling like she was excluded from being able to celebrate with her sisters in terms of their victory and their singing career. She just felt different. And so the Three of Cups in the reverse is not being able to collaborate or celebrate with others. And so what's clarifying that is the Eight of Pentacles and the Tower in the reverse, which indicates that this was a structure that was already unstable, okay? And she felt like this is all about working. This is about perfecting your craft, okay, and building from it. But with it coming out in the reverse, it's like she felt like, everything came crashing down when she could not put in the work to join her sisters or to join in their success. And I feel like she almost gave up to a degree. It was this energy of wanting to fight and wanting to do what was necessary to stay on top. I feel like she had a passion to keep going, but this is also an energy of feeling like you always have to defend yourself against others. So I feel like amongst her siblings, Traci felt as if because she was different, or because she was perceived to be different, and because she was not a part of their ultimate success moving forward, she felt as if she was always being attacked. And she held this back for a long time in terms of just feeling like she was the black sheep. That's what I'm hearing. She felt like she was the black sheep. Um, and that she always had to defend herself and defend her own honor against her sisters. Now we have here the Emperor and the Hierophant. Now this could very well deal with a marriage, okay? What I'm seeing with these two cards though coming out, I feel like this will be dealing with potentially her, maybe her marriage, or this could be dealing with, this could, I'm going to clarify this because this could be her father. The Emperor can be a father. The Hierophant could be a marriage, someone that she might have respected, somebody that might have been in a position of authority, or this could be her own marriage. But let me just see. What is the Emperor and the Hierophant coming out together? Ooh, that just flew way over there, y'all. So these two cards right here came out, which is the King of Wands in reverse and the High Priestess in the reverse. I feel that, let me just light this real quick. I feel that Traci was starting to reveal some things. Maybe she was starting to speak out about some things in regards to her marriage. What is this? Oh, okay. High Priestess, yeah. And then the Queen of Wands in the reverse. I feel like Traci was, she felt like she was silenced, first of all. That's what this is all about, suppression. And so with the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands coming out in the reverse, this is no more passion. This is no more excitement. This is no more, affection towards one another. This could be a jealous energy, constant bickering, constant fighting, a disconnection when it comes to the passion. And so because this came out with the Hierophant, I feel like now this is moving into her adult life. Maybe things that was taking place prior to her, obviously prior to her passing. But she was starting to, maybe she didn't listen to her intuition for a while, but then she started to speak out because the High Priestess usually keeps the secrets. Let me see what just fell. Okay, so this Tower card just fell. I don't see anything as being an accident. I feel like there was a breakdown here. Something unexpected might have taken place within her home structure here because we did have the Four of Wands. Now we went back to the childhood. That's where this began, but I feel like this is moving even further into her adult life where the energy is now starting to come more to situations that took place not too long ago. Something was off balance here in regards to her marriage, and she might have been dealing with a narcissist with the Emperor and the Hierophant coming out together. There was something here. Let's see. What is this? What is the High Priestess in the reverse? Okay, the High Priestess in the reverse is the King of Cups in the reverse. So she was starting to see very clearly, yeah, that her husband, I feel like this is talking about her husband, was no longer emotionally available to her. He pulled back a lot emotionally. And he might have been in and out with his affections, okay? Maybe emotionally manipulative, but with the Eight of Wands in the reverse, that's no more passion, no more forward movement. And he might have even been jealous. There may have been an energy of jealousy here with the Eight of Wands in the reverse. That's what I see. I interpret that card as being jealousy. King of Wands in the reverse, Queen of Wands in the reverse. That could be a lot of envy there. So there was no cohesiveness. Look at this, y'all. We got the Queen of Cups in the reverse as well. So this is definitely a couple. The King of Wands in reverse, Queen of Wands in reverse. King of Cups in the reverse, Queen of Cups in the reverse. So the love was no longer there. There was just, look at this, a lot of pain, a lot of betrayal, no cohesiveness. They was not able to work together, and there might have even been potentially a third party involved in this situation that caused the breakdown of their relationship. But I feel like with the Ten of Swords being here, I feel like this might have been multiple betrayals. This was not just a one-time thing. If there was a third party involved, there may have been multiple times that this person betrayed her. And so the love was gone there. Yeah, there was a lot of things that Traci wanted to speak out about. She had a lot of rushing thoughts. She wanted to speak her truth, but I feel like a lot of her truths came out through anger. She was not able to fully express it from, the deep, from the root, to heal from the core of where it began. And so Traci held back her truth in regards to what was happening in her marriage, I feel. She was dealing with a narcissist. She was dealing with someone who might have been, yeah, look at this. We got the Eight of Swords. She felt trapped mentally. Hold on, y'all. She felt trapped mentally and she felt very unhappy here. So this could also indicate overindulgence with the Nine of Cups coming out in the reverse. This could have potentially have been her way of dealing with feeling trapped and feeling bound and feeling as if she had no other way to go or no other way to release the energy that she had been suppressing. And so she might have numbed herself out, okay? But yeah, she felt like she was not able to bring the cycle to an end. And this is probably why she was not able to close the cycle out, because she was not speaking her truth. I feel like there was a large part of her that just kind of tolerated what she was going through, and she suppressed it because she did not want to be a failure. She had already felt like she was a failure in terms of the relationship, the cohesiveness that she desired to have with her mother that did not ultimately pan out based on what I'm seeing here. And then moving up, as she became an adolescent, in her later years, I feel like her connection with her sisters was not balanced, okay? She felt like she always had to defend herself there. And then now moving into the energy of her marriage, there was no true love here. Things had sizzled out and they had faded out a long time ago. I sensed that it was a long time that she was in this energy, and she felt like she had to hold it in. This is why her throat chakra, I feel like ultimately this is what led up to Traci becoming ill. Because even if you look up esophageal cancer, they'll say, even though the medical industry, they don't have the answer to a lot of things, okay? That's just real talk. But they say that this cancer is a genetic mutation, but they don't know the origin or what causes it, okay? Or like more so a cellular mutation, okay? But they don't know what causes this to actually occur. Now, there are speculations that different things such as, drug use or alcohol abuse or acid, like lots of acid reflux could be a potential reason behind that type of cancer coming in. But on a spiritual level, when we look past the surface explanations, okay, past scientific reasoning, I feel like on a spiritual level, this woman just really held back a lot of things, a lot of her truth since childhood, and she did not know how to bring it forward. Instead, she spent all of her life defending herself and trying to do what was necessary to stay on top, but she suppressed it and she felt weakened by it, okay? What is this Eight of Swords? The Eight of Swords is the Magician. We already saw this Magician coming out initially when I cut the deck at the beginning, and then the Seven of Pentacles in the reverse. It's a lot of cards that's coming out to indicate that she was definitely dealing with someone who was a narcissist, okay? And I feel like what I just heard is that potentially her father might have also been in that energy when they was younger, and so she found herself being drawn to someone who was similar to her father in terms of her marriage. But with this Magician coming out and the Seven of Pentacles in the reverse, I feel like Traci felt like she just could not catch a break, no matter how many different avenues she tried in order to create this abundance for herself. She felt like there was always some sort of blockage that stopped her from being able to complete these chapters and move forward to start brand new. And I feel like spiritually, what she had created energetically was, she was obstructing her own path because of suppressing so much energy. When you suppress things that deeply, there's no you're not going to be able to just heal with wounds that are not being addressed, okay? And so I feel like she suppressed it so much that she began to see things only from the surface. She might have even forgotten those things that she had, pushed away into the darkness, and was more so focused on the surface of things, on the surface of life. And I feel like her issues in her marriage, what was the energy of Traci's marriage? Let me see. Prior to her receiving her diagnosis, what was the energy of Traci's marriage? Because based on what I'm seeing, this is coming, this is from her marriage here, because there's too many cards, king and queens that are matching. The energy was, let's see, I got 3 cards. The Knight of Wands in the reverse. So there was no more forward movement, okay? The passion was fizzling out in the marriage here. 9 of Wands in the reverse. She was ready to give up on this, okay? There might have still been small moments of, maybe small gestures of apologies, or maybe even she wanted to hold on for her child, because this could be the energy of a child here. But I feel like this is that energy of giving up, okay? At once the 9 of Wands is in the reverse, when it's in the upright, this is holding on. But this is barely holding on, because eventually carrying all of these wands becomes burdensome. And that's why you saw the 10 of Wands. After the 9 of Wands comes the 10 of Wands. And so if you keep holding on, then yes, you're going to end up carrying those wands that becomes burdensome. And so with the bandages around this person's head, I feel like she was bruised, and I even heard it might have been some physical abuse in the marriage. But I all I can say, I'll just put this disclaimer out there. I cannot say anything to be 100% factual, but I am picking up on the energies and the intuitive messages that are coming through. And so I feel like she was tired. She was weakened and she was ready to give up. And she felt like these apologies were not genuine, because I don't know when I turned this in the reverse, but she felt like if there was apologies that was coming in terms of her marriage, maybe from her husband, she felt like it was not genuine, because ultimately this Tower card keeps falling off the table. There was something that took place. Hold on. There was something that took place here. The structure was already not built on a solid foundation. But yeah, look at this. We got the 8 of Cups in the reverse. So prior to her receiving her diagnosis, the energy of her marriage was she was ready to walk away. She was ready to walk away because something happened here. This Tower keeps showing up. It keeps falling off the table. So something happened here where she was ready to leave. Traci was ready to walk away from this marriage. Like I said, she was ready to give up. And I feel like she looked at the amount of time, the amount of energy, the amount of effort that she had invested, and she felt like there was no harvest, because this came out in the reverse. She felt like she had received no harvest from putting in all of this work and this effort. One more for the energy of the marriage prior to Traci's prior to Traci's diagnosis here. She felt alone. Okay, Traci felt alone. In spite of being married, she felt alone. And this is the 10 of Pentacles. This would be that family structure. But she was starting to really take a look. She was shining a light on this thing. And I feel like, she felt that maybe there was opportunities that she had missed because of her staying in this family situation. And I feel like it was largely because she wanted to, like I say, maintain a specific image. Yeah, it was very deceptive here. It was not real, okay? It was an illusion that she created for herself. Look at this 7 of Swords. This person is looking back at this family, family structure, but it's a deceptive energy. It's a dishonest energy. So there was a lot of deception that was happening behind the illusion of being financially secure, stable, and having that cohesiveness, that loyalty. There was Behind that was dishonesty, deception, sneakiness, lies being told, okay? And so Traci was starting to take a good look at that, and she felt very alone in her own marriage. And so when you consider, she already felt like she was not accepted in childhood maybe by both of her parents. Then she felt like she was not accepted by her sisters. She was not accepted fully into the music industry because she kind of missed out on that opportunity as a young child when she became pregnant, or as a young lady when she became pregnant. And then moving into adulthood, it was just very clear that she always felt like she was different, you know. And, you know, Traci was different. You know, she did not really, she had her own personality. She had her own look and she had her own way of expressing herself, but much of it came through pain. Much of it came through pain. And so Traci suppressed a lot of these things. Let me just pull from, let me see. I'm going to clarify the Magician real quick. I'm going to clarify the Magician. Because there was definitely manipulation here, but there was no cohesiveness in her marriage prior to her diagnosis. Yeah, so yeah, Traci was getting ready to, she wanted to reclaim her happiness here. And True Friend is coming out. I feel like she wanted to reclaim her happiness and move towards people that would be truly loyal to her. And that would really be in alignment with those things that she desired, because you did see the Eight of Cups, which indicates walking away. So when you go into the Eight of Cups energy, you're moving towards Nine of Cups, which is wish fulfillment and that happiness, you know, that happiness from within. And so I feel like Traci was ready to reclaim her happiness here. And she wanted true people around her. But we have here fall from grace and illness. Fall from grace and illness. Slander is right behind that. So somebody took a fall from grace, but I don't sense that this would be Traci's energy here. There was slander, so this would indicate that people was potentially saying things about her. But yeah, because she always felt the need to defend herself. So yeah, if you're always in this energy of defending yourself, then obviously that means, you know, you have a lot of opposition, people that are against you. Okay. And so that's like being in survival mode all of your life. And when you're in survival mode, that can also, because that's working from the root chakra. That's that energy of not feeling secure, and not feeling protected or stable. And so I feel like Traci stayed in survival mode pretty much all of her life, constantly defending herself because she felt misunderstood, feeling alone and abandoned. And she had a lot of people that said things about her, okay, who said things about her, and she had to defend herself. And then I feel like, what is this fall from grace? Because illness came out, obviously. And so I feel like this is ultimately what led to her illness. What is fall from grace? So fall from grace is the Star and the Seven of Swords. There was definitely somebody around Traci who knew. She couldn't see this person, because you see how she's looking this way, and this person, they're looking behind them to see if they can get away with something here. I'm going to clarify these, but Traci obviously had the potential to become a star. Obviously she did. She did reach certain heights that many people, you know, alive today would not be able to reach. Okay. I do believe when I was looking into some of her information that she did have a song that reached number 16 on the charts. And I believe it was called Last Call. And so she was creating her own, you know, standing in her own truth and doing her own thing for a time. Somebody was trying to deceive her and get away with something here. Yeah, I feel like this is potentially family. Okay, so this could be her actual marriage, because what's peeking out here is the Ten of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups. So both of these would indicate a home, like, you know, amongst family. There's the father, the mother, the father, the children. And in this one here, same thing, mother, father, children. So there was something about someone wanting to steal her stardom, steal her fame, steal those things that she worked hard for. And they was doing it behind her back, though. She was not able to see this. She was not able to see this, because I do feel that Traci wanted to heal, and maybe she was more so focused in on creating that name for herself, because she felt like she had something to prove after not being accepted by those people that she loved. And so I want to know, what is the Seven of Swords that I keep seeing here, because that's a very deceptive energy. This is a lot about money that's coming out here. somebody was not given equally in her relationship. Potentially, this could be, because I'm hearing this might be in regards to the marriage, but there was something where she was not receiving what she was giving. Someone was taking more than what they was willing to give back. There was no reciprocity in this situation here. Yeah, look at that. A lot of fighting that was going on. So that's Seven of Swords. Whoever that was in that sneaky energy, this could very well, this could be the husband, because what I'm seeing here is the King of Swords in the reverse. We already saw the Queen of Swords coming out, which is what I spoke on in terms of how Traci felt like she had to defend herself and to put up this hardcore representative, but behind that she felt weakened and she felt broken. So this could potentially be her counterpart here that I'm looking at. She was ready. I feel like she was ready to turn away. Traci was not paying attention to all of this chaos and conflict. She was trying to move away from it. That's what I'm saying. She was trying to move away from this chaos and conflict, because the King of Swords in reverse can be very cutthroat, very mean, and very cold, okay? And also someone who's very dishonest. And so with another number 3 here, I just feel like there might have been a lot of competition that Traci had to deal with, potentially other people, being involved in a marriage, maybe infidelity, and she was ready to turn away and move and to forge ahead. And because she was so focused in on wanting to create a new future for herself, she was not able to see the deception with that Seven of Swords. There it is, with that Seven of Swords right there. She was not able to fully see this person's intentions. Let me just pull from this deck. I want to know what this Tower is, because it kept falling off the table. What is this Tower? Because I feel like this was prior to her diagnosis. I don't feel like this is the Tower that was surrounding the diagnosis itself. I feel like this was something else. The Tower here, this is House in the reverse, Community in the reverse, and Sudden Wealth in the reverse. So I strongly sense that Traci was getting ready to walk away because she discovered something that was going on within her marriage. Yeah, main male is right there. I feel like she discovered something that was going on in regards to her husband, potentially third party situation. And she had already been betrayed multiple times. This wasn't her first time, but I feel like with the number 10 here, she was tired and she was ready to be done with it. And so Traci was ready to walk away. And you have Sudden Wealth in the reverse, Community in the reverse, and House in the reverse. Maybe there was going to be some issues here, because there might have been some issues here in regards to money. If she felt as if, because we saw the Six of Pentacles in the reverse, so there was no equal give and take in this situation. Maybe she was the person that was the breadwinner for the most part. Not saying that her husband didn't work. I don't know what he might have done for a living, but consider that she did have a certain amount of influence in the public, and also a certain amount of clout in terms of her connection to, her sisters, and, specifically Toni Braxton and the record label that she was connected with. She still had a leg up in that regard. And so I feel that there was some disruption here in terms of the community, which could be involving the family, maybe some issues involving the house and the money with the Sudden Wealth in reverse. Somebody was expecting to lose as a result, because this is clarifying the Tower, as a result of whatever this breakdown is, where she was ready to walk away. She suppressed this, though, because remember, this is all about what was Traci suppressing that could have led to her having throat cancer. And I strongly feel that all of these things was happening in the background, and she was not being vocal about this. Maybe she might not have even wanted to tell her family, because again, she felt like she was not supported. She was misunderstood. She was always treated like she felt like she was the failure. And so in that regard, she probably would have held back a lot of the pain and the betrayal that she was dealing with, in order to, make her family believe that, if at least she would be successful in her marriage. At least she could say she was successful in maintaining a marriage, because I believe they have a son that's like in his 20s. So she did have a grandchild before she passed away. And so I feel like she suppressed what was going on here. She suppressed what was happening with her husband, and that became very painful for her. Um, and I don't feel like she was able to ultimately walk away. Yeah, we have a mature woman coming out. I feel like she was growing, and starting to see, she wanted to put in the work to just become a better version of herself, okay? Because we have toil and labor, mature woman, and then despair in the reverse. So she wanted to come out of this energy of being in despair and in pain and going through all of these changes here. And so she was putting in the work. That's toil and labor to, become the mature woman that she always desired to be. And someone was concerned about this. Someone was concerned about the amount of growth that she was beginning to have, or maybe even the amount of assertiveness. Because when I see this, in the upright, I feel like this is someone who's very assertive. They're mature. They know who they are. They know what they want. Even though she withheld a lot of those things that she was going through, I feel like this person in particular, which could have been her husband, was very well aware of her desires to move forward and to walk away from this situation, because she understood that it was not built on a solid foundation. And so there was a lot of fighting here, and she was ready to turn away. Okay, the love was already gone. King of Cups and Queen of Cups in the reverse. There was no intimacy either. I feel like that even that has stopped, because we got the Eight of Wands coming out in the reverse as well. Queen of Wands in reverse, King of Wands in reverse. The attraction was no longer there. The spark was gone. The passion was gone. And it could have largely been to the multiple betrayals. But there was something, it was like a straw that broke the camel's back. It was like that one last thing that that she was ready to be done with. So we have gift coming out. And at the bottom of this deck, it says child. I don't know if there might have been a pregnancy here. Let me clarify what this is, because gift and child coming out together. 17, and then right after that, this just so happens to be consecutive. 17 and then 18. Gift and then child. What is this gift and child? Because it could indicate that maybe she felt like, let me just clarify it first, because they did have a child together. Gift and child. Okay, so the sun is in the reverse, and then the hangman. Yeah, she felt like her child that she was able to have with him was a gift, okay? She cherished that part of the relationship, and so maybe that's what kept her there. Not wanting to disappoint her child as well, her son. Or it could also be her grandchild, because I do remember seeing an interview where she spoke on her granddaughter and how she felt like her granddaughter built her, and matured her. And so the hangman is making that sacrifice. She made the sacrifice to stay in an unhappy situation with the sun in the reverse. Even though she could see things very clearly, she was not blinded to what was happening. She knew she wanted to walk away, but she made a sacrifice to stay. And ultimately, she ended up suppressing a lot of things in making that sacrifice, because she was staying in a marriage where there was no happiness there. And it was causing a lot of pain on her, and it ended up manifesting, I feel strongly, through her physical illness. So we have the Wheel of Fortune and then the Ten of Cups. There was a lot of changes that was happening concerning the family, and I feel like the cycle was getting ready to close out in terms of this family structure with the 10 of, the number 10 can indicate completions. Wheel of Fortune indicates a new cycle coming in. What's behind this? Yes, I feel like she was ready to take advantage of a new opportunity. She didn't want to just sit back and be discontent and, just looking at those things that she was unhappy about. She wanted to take this offer here. And so with this Four of Cups in the reverse, I feel like this is where she wanted that cycle to close out, and she wanted to move away from this energy, because this is showing up again in the reverse, the King of Swords, which would be, look at that stressful energy that she was receiving from this person who was a liar, okay, who was a manipulator, who was, a narcissist. It was stressing her out so much that she was ready to close out this chapter and move ahead. She was ready to abandon the situation here, but I also sense that Traci dealt with some abandonment issues that ultimately caused her to stay. So let me just pull a couple more in terms of what Traci was suppressing. And this is just a vital lesson for everyone to, don't allow any situation to weigh you down so heavily that you hold it back. You hold your truth back. Express your truth. Don't worry about other people's opinions or being judged, because it hurts you in the long run to suppress those things that need to be spoken. Yeah, we got shame and trauma, sexual trauma. So Traci could have potentially have been through a sexual trauma in her childhood. She might have withheld this from her family because she felt like she was not well received or accepted. But she could have definitely, with the sacral chakra showing up, that could have been a large reason why. That might have been where she began suppressing things from that point on. It could have begun with the sexual trauma that could have taken place in her childhood. And maybe there was some shame behind what had happened. And so she just went silent. But the only time she would actually speak would be to defend herself, okay? What else was Traci suppressing? So that's a big deal when you suppress sexual trauma, okay? Because you're not suppressing it. It's not benefiting you to suppress sexual trauma. It benefits the perpetrator. It benefits the pervert who did this, okay? And this is one of the reasons why I came out and spoke my truth personally in regards to what took place with me in my childhood. And it was it was something that set me free. I'm doing a lot of coughing because I feel like this is a strong indicator of how her throat chakra had become blocked. And she was not able to speak her truth. And she ended up ultimately being with a narcissist who would be even more of a influence on her suppressing her truth, okay? Because this might have been somebody who would gaslight her or who would try to blame her for those things that he was doing against her. What else was Traci suppressing? I'm going to just pull two more cards and I'm going to close out. Disbelief in love, not good enough for love. So she was suppressing that she felt like she was not good enough. And that's what I saw. But this began in childhood. Her heart chakra was blocked. She was in a lot of pain. She stopped believing in love, and she stopped believing that she was good enough for love because she felt like she was just not accepted. These are the last ones I'm going to take here. We have here, this is just for the root chakra. This deals with sweet potatoes, beets. These are different ways to heal your root chakra. But it started from the root is what I feel like this card is indicating. This is another one for the sacral chakra dealing with self-sabotage and low self-esteem. So this could have been largely because this is for the sacral. It could have been, this says shame, sexual trauma and shame. So she might have felt very low about herself, low self-esteem, and, would self-sabotage those things that she was able to, that she desired to pursue because a large part of her maybe felt as if she was not going to be supported. I'm just going to take one more. This card is not supposed to be in here, but this says, it may not seem clear, but the answers you need are coming very soon. So that could indicate that, maybe she was searching for answers and she was hoping to get some sort of clarity. Maybe she ended up ultimately getting the clarity that she needed, but it was too late at that point. But she dealt with someone who was very manipulative and, she held back a lot of pain. And so I feel like I was called to do this message for those of you who might be going through a similar situation. Just take heed to this message and do the work to heal. Do the work to address those things that you have buried. Don't just ignore them. Because what'll happen is you'll continue to attract to you people, places, or things that will cause further trauma to the wound. And the only reason for that is to get you to recognize that there is a wound there. So the pain is actually the pain that you feel from those traumatic events or those lessons that come in is to tap you on the shoulder and to tell you there is a wound here that needs to be addressed. And so over time, it's like if that wound continues to get re-injured and re-injured and re-injured, I'm talking about in the spiritual realm, on a spiritual level, and it does not go you do not address it, you do nothing to nurture that wound, then over time that that injury becomes physical. It manifests in physical ways, okay, in your health. So that's what I got for y'all. I love you. If you desire a private reading, please be sure to email me. I'll leave that in the description box. It's always there for you. I do charge for my private readings. And also, if this message, if you got anything from this message, please be sure to like and subscribe to my channel. And I will talk to you all next time.